Greetings and welcome back to Randomly Relaxing. Today we've got an experiment that I've been wanting to do for a while. One of my hobbies, other than helping y'all relax, is watching police cam videos on YouTube, and they're pretty entertaining. But a lot of times they're dealing with very aggravated individuals, yelling, screaming, disorderly conduct, things like that. Some people may find that sort of thing not terribly relaxing. However, my pitch to you all would be that if you're going to watch such things and enjoy the many entertainment aspects of them, it's best to do so in a manner that allows you to reflect and enjoy in a way that perhaps can regulate your nervous system and decrease your blood pressure. So with that, we're going to watch a not very relaxing video about a police interaction, and I'm going to calmly annotate the video with some of my observations and thoughts. I hope you enjoy. This video is from the YouTube account of the gentleman Laz Guevara, who is depicted in this video. And one of the interesting things about this interaction is that it involves somebody who, at least in part, appears to be what we call a sovereign citizen. Basically, what sovereign citizens are people that have a specific, although it varies a lot from sovereign citizen to sovereign citizen, but they have a sort of set of rules that I guess you would call conspiracy theory about, and these rules are about basically the law and the government and how they interface with the law and the government. There are a lot of intricacies there, but I don't intend to give you a complete rundown. And frankly, I've tried to understand what exactly the full kind of set of beliefs of sovereign citizens consist of, but I don't think there's really any, at least not that's something that's easily findable, there's any sort of uniform, list. But if you watch these videos of sovereign citizens being interacted with by the police, you start to sort of see some commonalities, and it seems that excuse me, that there is some sort of common like manual or rule book or something that they're at least trying to adhere to, but a lot of times what they say is sort of different from person to person. So if this video gets enough interest and I do more of these, we'll see some other sovereign citizens. And I think actually this guy says that he's not a sovereign citizen, even though some of the things he does are clearly from their sort of playbook. But let's dig into this, shall we? And I apologize if the volume levels are not great. It's kind of hard to tell what is appropriate, especially given this is an ASMR channel. But I'm trying not to be too loud with this video, and maybe you can't hear it. So I turned on closed captioning, which sometimes is accurate and sometimes is not. So we'll give this a whirl and make adjustments as I get feedback. Here we go. Here's Laz getting pulled over by the cops. We'll find out a little bit more as we go.
He's here. Hello. How you doing?
Sergeant France, Alaska PD. Got a license answer.
I'm filming this. I just want to have our interaction documented. Do you have a body cam on?
My body camera's running.
You got body cams running? Can you check it and verify for me, please?
I know it's running. I can see the red light.
Okay. What department are you with?
Onalaska PD.
Okay, Onalaska PD. What is your name, sir?
Sergeant Prince.
Sergeant Prince. And do you have a badge number? 604. Okay.
Pulled over because you don't have a license.
Something I noticed in a lot of police videos is like the first thing a lot of the people who are difficult do is ask for a badge number, which is, I mean, I guess if they're recording and it's like at night here and you can't really see very well because the light's shining and you like sort of makes some sense. But like this idea that requesting a badge number is somehow going to be helpful to you, I think is like some sort of like ploy to try to intimidate the cops, but they have to realize that the suspects, that is, this seems to happen like more often than not these days, where everybody whips out their camera as soon as anything happens involving the police. So there's a lot of things, as you'll see if we do more of these videos, that people do that I think are just not quite having the effect that they want on a police interaction, and yet you'll see them being done over and over again. So hopefully you can learn a little bit of something from these videos about how to have a smooth and lawful interaction with your local police officers, who I think would really appreciate it if you didn't do things that are completely ineffective and pointless. That being one, the asking for a badge number.
I figured that. I'm not driving, and this is. I'm not a sovereign citizen.
We're not going to do that.
I'm an American national.
Here's the deal. I need a driver's license and a proof of insurance.
Yeah, so this is where he says he's not a sovereign citizen. He's American national, but like an American national, like what does that mean? That's kind of one of those terms that I sets off my sort of spidey sense as to whether or not a person is a sovereign citizen, because they say stuff like like that, like American national. Okay, well, if you're a national of the United States, that just means you're a citizen of the United States. Typically, that's a term you would use when you're abroad. So what is it? What does he mean when he says that? I have no idea, because as you will see if we do more of these sovereign citizen videos, a lot of the terms that they use are very strange and seem to have different meanings to them than they do to the rest of the world. So him referring to himself as an American national is one of those situations where I'm like, I don't really know what he thinks that means. But as we'll see, that it does seem that he's got some other beliefs that appear to be sovereign citizen type beliefs.
Okay, can we talk about this? I'm not driving though. You see, I have it posted right here, not for hire.
Yeah, so this is one of the like most common things you see, because a lot of these videos are traffic stops, and the sovereign citizens seem to have a very strong, seems to be one of their primary beliefs, that operating a vehicle is only called driving if it's for commercial purposes, and if they're just driving on their own personal time for non-business purposes, that is not driving. That is what they call traveling. And traveling, according to the sovereign citizens, apparently isn't something that the police can regulate. So I'm trying not to give short shrift or laugh too much at these kinds of ideas, but I just want to explain to you what it is they think, and maybe I'll have some commentary on it later. But this, I'm not driving thing is very common for sovereign citizens to say. They say they're traveling. And this guy seems to have a slightly different take on things. He's going to refer to some laws that he believes, these are Texas laws, that he thinks seem to indicate that what he's doing is not driving, and therefore, doesn't, for example, require him to have a driver's license. So he'll say a little bit more about this later, and we'll dig into it.
Sir, I don't want a problem with you. But, I mean, I don't... You're already coming off like hostile towards me. Okay, can we talk about this? Because I have all the documents right here.
Driver's license and a proof of insurance.
Okay. Hold on. Am I stopped?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I get this paperwork here just to show you?
For anything in the vehicle.
I got paperwork here. I want to show you some paperwork.
Not reaching for anything in the vehicle.
I'm reaching for this paperwork. That's all I'm reaching for, man. Settle down.
Been down this road before several times. I'm telling you.
Okay, what is it that you think that I'm wrong about what I'm saying?
Your driver's license and a proof of insurance.
Listen, just hear me out.
Do you guys travel around with like laws printed out in your glove box instead of your insurance and registration? I'm just wondering if anybody does that besides this guy.
Can I talk?
I know what you're showing me. I've been
Okay, what is it that I'm wrong about? What am I getting?
You're going to try and show me some excerpts from some case law that's not correct. So here's the deal.
It's not what I'm showing you. That's not what I'm.
Driver's license and a proof of insurance.
That's not what I'm showing you.
Driver's license and a proof of
I'm literally showing you what the definition of driver means. It means one employed. I am not employed. I'm not for hire. I have it posted right here. Not for hire.
He's got a sign that says not for hire. That's amazing. So what he goes on to say is that the definition of driver in Black's Law Dictionary, which if you've been to law school or you worked in the legal profession at all, you know Black's Law Dictionary. Mostly as a law student, because that's about the last time you ever look at Black's Law Dictionary. But he looked up the definition of driver in Black's Law Dictionary, and I actually looked this up, and I'll bring it up for you here on the screen in a second here. Let's see, where can I search for things in here? Driver. Okay, so I'll bring you over to my other window. So this is Black's Law Dictionary. A driver, one employed in conducting a coach, carriage, wagon, or other vehicle with horse, mules, or other animals, or a bicycle, tricycle, or motor car, though not a street railroad car. So, this definition in Black's Law Dictionary does seem to say one employed, although employed in conducting, could be one who undertakes the operation of something, and not somebody who's literally employed by another person or entity. But the idea of using this definition of driver as part of an argument that you are not driving your vehicle and therefore don't require a driver's license is not the best argument, shall we say. There are other laws. Well, first of all, this is not a law. This is a definition in a book that has no bearing whatsoever on the laws of the state of, I think, Texas they're in. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is there are, very clear laws in Texas and every other state in the union that say you're required to have a valid driver's license in order to operate a motor vehicle on the public roadways. So he seems to not be very interested, and I suspect that what goes on in these situations, these sovereign citizen types, is, there's probably a group, maybe a Facebook page or a, discussion forum somewhere where they get this information. Probably somebody in each state is putting together, these kinds of arguments to be used at traffic stops or other interactions with the police. And, somebody figures out some half-baked, theory because they discovered Black's Law Dictionary, and they've looked up the definition of driver, and it happened to, have this weird sort of requirement of being employed. And next thing you know, hundreds of these people across the country are using this argument in a way that, no lawyer who is currently licensed or probably has ever been licensed would think this is anything but, a silly piece of nonsense. But let's listen more.
No, I'm not refusing. I just want to talk casually with you. If we have to go down this road, we'll do it your way. Can we at least just... Sir, please just give me a minute. Dude, I'm already got a court case. I'm dealing with this. I already have a court date. I'm dealing with this same thing. I am
surprising.
not driving. I am traveling. I am not employed. It says employed right here. Coach, carriage, wagon, other vehicle, horse, animals. What code book are you using? Right here. Look at 502. Can you bring your book? No, I'm just saying. Look, you got this. This is the checks. Man, hear me out, dude. Seriously, come on, man. Like, you're being... Dude, look. It says here. Dude, let me talk, man. You're not letting me talk. Why are you not letting me talk? For what? You act like I did a crime. What crime did I commit? That's not a crime. No, it's not. For what you have jurisdiction over, it is.
Okay, this guy's grasping at straws here. Another thing I've noticed about the sovereign citizen, and by the way, you notice he said that he's traveling and not driving, as I talked about before. But another thing that the sovereign citizens like to do is they've read some things, and those things probably use some legalistic terms like jurisdiction, and they like the sound of those legalistic terms, but they don't really have any idea what they mean. I see this a lot with a number of terms, and jurisdiction is one of them. But now he's seemingly trying to say that for some reason his not having a license plate on his car is a matter not within the jurisdiction of a police officer. I don't... either he doesn't know what jurisdiction means, or he's pretty sorely mistaken about what jurisdiction a police officer in this city has, because I don't know if there's any city in the world where the police officers don't have jurisdiction over the issue of car-related citations, such as failure to have a license plate, failure to have registration, failure to have operating taillights, things like that. That's pretty much exactly what your average police officer has direct and primary jurisdiction over the enforcement of. So he's just saying jurisdiction because I think he likes the sound of the word and doesn't really have an argument for why this police officer would not have jurisdiction over him, and the infraction that he's just told him is the reason why he was pulled over. Another thing I've noticed about these, actually about a lot of suspects that get pulled over, primarily the ones that are under the influence of some sort of drug or alcohol, and the sovereign citizens is they keep repeatedly saying, why is this happening? What did I do wrong? And that's usually something they continue doing after they've been told like 4 times, 5 times what the infraction is, and they just keep asking it over and over and over. And I guess it's just because they're not listening. But it's sort of insane to listen to that happen because it's very common, and seems to happen on like every video I watch where there's sort of a indignant suspect being stopped or questioned by the police. All right, let's go on.
Dude, you don't own the road. Okay. I'm not driving though. I'm not driving. I'm traveling. Legal definition is.
Here's the deal. What you gonna walk yourself into right now? You're gonna walk yourself into.
But why? I'm not refusing anything. Why would I provide anything? Don't I have right? I mean, you got me arrested right now, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be laughing this much, but I just can't help it. I'm not refusing to give you my license. Have you given me your license? Why would I give you my license? Oh, okay. I guess we don't know what the word refuse means.
Can you send a supervisor? You are the supervisor? So you don't got any other body over you?
Another thing, suspects who are troublesome always do, I swear, like 95% of the videos that I watch, and admittedly the interactions that you see in videos on YouTube that are coming from this is actually a video recorded by this gentleman, but a lot of the videos come from the body cameras that officers wear these days, those videos typically are only going to be made available if someone is charged with something. So, what you see on the internet is not representative of the total number of, of the totality of traffic stops of police officers. But another thing that the suspects do pretty much like every time is they ask for a supervisor, they ask for a sergeant, which I haven't really ever looked at the legality of that. I don't know if they're sort of required to. They can't be required because it's just not possible for a supervisory officer to be available at all times. But they pretty much always try to honor that unless they have already tried or they know that their sergeant is unavailable. And so these folks often actually uniformly they seem to ask for a supervisor or a sergeant, and it never does them any bit of good at all. So it's another tip to avoid some trouble if you're in this situation.
You? So you're the only one I can deal with right now.
You're going to go to jail.
But isn't the state law that I just have to give you a name?
No, you got to give me name, date of birth, or you got to give me your driver's license.
But I don't have to provide a physical document where I can just verbalize to you?
Name and date of birth, where I can run you.
So this is an interesting point about him thinking that he only has to provide his name to an officer, and every state is a little bit different in terms of what you're required to provide to an officer who has, in this case, detained the gentleman here in the car. In some states, it's true that if you're only being detained, you don't have to. Actually, I don't know if that's true. I'd have to look this up, but in some states, like if there's different kind of stops reasons why a police officer can ask you questions, and the requirements for making each of those kinds of stops. It's different depending on which kind of stop it is. To make an arrest, there has to be probable cause that a crime has been committed or is about to be committed. For a detention, which is just to require that you not leave. It's not an arrest, but you can't leave, so you're not not being taken into custody. The standard is a little bit different. You have a reasonably, or I forget what the standard is, like an articulable suspicion of a crime, which is a much lower requirement than probable cause. And when you have a traffic situation, then a missing license plate or expired sticker tab on the license, or any number of traffic violations is reason enough for detention. And then at that point, typically the state law will determine what you can ask for. And I have to imagine that whenever there's a detention in a traffic situation, the officer is within their rights to request the driver's license, because you have to have identification that confirms the identity of the person in order for you to write a citation. This guy, and actually many others I've noticed as well, seems to think that he only has to provide his name. And there are some circumstances in which, for example, somebody stopped on a street, by a police officer, may only have to provide a name and nothing else. But I think basically any kind of situation involving an infraction that the officer has witnessed in a traffic situation is going to easily give them the authority to request or demand a driver's license, and therefore it's likely that the state law also means that failure to provide that is a crime unto itself. So this is what this gentleman is about to run into, and he seems to just be mistaken about what is required by the state law in the situation that he's in, and that's not too surprising. Let's keep going.
If you're going to get a citation, if you don't sign the citation, then you're going to go to jail.
I know, man, but it's like, dude, this stuff takes up so much of my time. I'm already doing this with another county. I'm in Liberty County now doing the same thing. I got the paperwork right here.
That's fine. Driver's license.
So do you think we don't have a right to travel? Is that...
Driver's license.
I don't have insurance.
Oops.
Come on, dude. You really gonna do this to me like this? I don't have insurance.
I wonder, what kind of person, this gentleman appears to be maybe in his 20s, but like, how can you go get that far in life with not understanding that it's a pretty big crime to drive without insurance, such that you're like shocked that the cop is going to do you like that when you admit to him you don't have insurance. It's a real head scratcher, but here we are with Laz.
I don't have insurance. So you're basically telling me you're gonna impound my car? Dude, that's not right, man.
It's amazing.
I don't have proof of insurance. I don't have insurance. Dude, come on, man. This is the only car I got.
Not for long.
Dude, do you pay for my insurance? No, I don't. Okay. Is it though? I'm not saying it's your problem, but the fact...
Here's the deal. You're going to come out the vehicle now. No. You don't have insurance on the vehicle. You don't verbally told me that.
Dude, come on, man. So what's the best way we could do this for you to like not do this to me? What do you mean? So what? You're gonna take me to jail now?
You're going to take me to jail for committing crimes? I don't understand. I don't understand, Laz. You should get something. Texas Transportation Code 521.021. He cited earlier a different part of this code that had nothing to do with licensure of drivers, but this one, this code says a person other than a person expressly exempted under this chapter, he's not such a person, may not operate a motor vehicle on a highway in the state unless the person holds a driver's license issued under this chapter. So there you go. It's funny because it says highway, but I bet if we looked up definitions, it would be like roadway or anything approaching a street or roadway in shape or function.
I mean, I got this. Non-commercial use. I'm not getting paid.
I don't know what YouTube lawyer you've been watching.
Kudos to the cop.
Well, I don't want to walk myself into nothing, man.
You're not being smart about this at all, dude. I'm telling you.
But
After 10 years of doing this, I've kept numerous.
so none of this is right. I mean, this here. Have you read this?
I have read the transportation code what it says about a driver. You're behind. You're operating this vehicle, right? Or driving this vehicle on public roadway.
Can you please just?
I do feel bad for this guy because, you know, he really seems to earnestly have believed this stuff that he's trying to convince the cop of, and it seems you know, his hopes are being dashed right now. His heart is being broken, and he's just hopefully he's sort of saying to himself, "Oh my God, I can't believe I believe that crap. I've been lied to." Hopefully that's what he believes, but it seems he's actually a very new sovereign citizen, because I will tell you, many of the ones that get recorded on these videos are much more elaborate in the kind of justifications for the different beliefs that they have. And, you know, they have arguments for 10 different levels of reasoning and logic, that might come from a cop. And, it sort of gets to the point, the conversations with those types of folks, where the cops are just like, Jesus, I don't even want this job anymore. These guys are so annoying. And that seems to be the primary goal, whether it's intentional or unintentional, of the sovereign citizen, is to create sort of enough of a very, mucky mess of words and meanings and definitions and arguments that, a police officer is just like, I don't even know, what to say to you. You're just telling me, basically the laws of our state don't mean anything. And I'm a law enforcement officer. So hopefully Laz kind of figures it out. He says he's got other, a pending case for this type of stuff, I think is what he said, or something like that. So I'm guessing he's already kind of, started to work his way through the system with these sorts of arguments that he's making. And we'll probably find out sooner in that case than in this one what a judge does, which is basically take those arguments along with you and then puts them into a trash compactor, and then turns that compactor on until you're a tiny little blob of waste, and then they put that blob of waste into an incinerator, and then they burn it until it's nothing but ashes, and they take those ashes and then they put them on a train that goes to Florida, Cape Canaveral, and then the ashes get off the train and they go into a rocket ship, which gets blasted out into space and hits the broadside of the moon in a fiery explosion and incinerates all traces of every atom in the rocket ship. That's what a judge does to these arguments. But let's hear more from Laz.
Just tell me what it says here. It says employed. I'm not employed.
That's the Black's Law Dictionary thing again.
Dude, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I'm not trying to have a fight with you, man. I mean, do you want me to just give you a license?
Yes. Oh, why didn't the cop say yes right there?
I'm not a sovereign citizen. I'm trying to just be honest with you, my understanding of the law. It says one employed and conducting, and I look up, what does employed mean?
Here's the deal.
It says employed.
Here's the deal.
Contractor, what does contractor mean? Somebody who is under contract for payment. I'm not getting paid. None of this is right.
Here's the deal. Open the door, get out.
I don't want to do that. I feel safe right here. I don't feel, dude, you're coming at me hostile. I don't know what you're gonna do. Dude, you're freaking me out. I don't want to go outside. I'm safe in here. I'm not safe with you. Man, this is not good.
Correct. Laz finally got something right.
There's another sergeant for the county.
Excuse me. Can I talk to you, sir?
Sure, all right, let your window down, but you need to talk to him, though. Let your window down so I can...
Well, I just want to talk to you. Because I tried talking to him, and he's getting pissed off. He looks like he want to rip me out the car. I'm like, dude, I ain't been nothing but casual with him. You know, I'm like, well,
Okay, let your window down so I can talk to you clearly.
that's it right there.
I mean, let it down. I want you to be able
Dude, I know how this goes, man. I don't want to get ripped out of here. I don't want y'all beating my ass. I don't want y'all shooting.
He does not seem to know how it goes, because you can't just lock yourself in a car and expect that to resolve whatever it is the police want to talk to you about. In fact, folks, if you learn one thing from this video, it should be that if you take that approach, you're going to be dragged from your car. Absolutely 110% of the time you will be dragged from your car. So, yeah, I would go ahead and get out of the car if you're asked to do so. Let me just go on a little bit of a soapbox here, but so many of these videos, people, they seem to want to just have like their day in court out in the street, and argue with the cops about whether or not they did something, or whether the law makes whatever they did criminal, or whether or not the officer has reasonable cause to arrest them. And not one of those things is ever going to be, or has ever been decided on the street. Although I will say this, I think in the days before body cams, which are quickly becoming universal across the country, not quite universal. I mean, there's still probably half the states at least, I think, that don't require them at a state level. Some cities may in those states, but many states are requiring them statewide. There was probably a time when, before everything was recorded, maybe you could talk your way out of something with a police officer, get them to have pity, change their mind, release you after they put you in the back of their car, something like that. But in the day and age of body cameras, that's really never going to happen. with any police officer that's wearing a body camera, because they call in all of their stops that they make for their safety, and when they do that, they have to begin recording on the body camera. I suppose they could, not record and, get asked about that later, and I'm sure they would get in trouble for that. I'm not a police officer. I don't really know anything about their regulations at any deep level, but I think that it's a really bad thing for them to, not have a recording of a incident where they made a stop and then, issued citations or made an arrest or detained a suspect. So, once they start recording, there's not going to be any negotiating that, allows you to get out of something, because then it's them that has to answer questions when they go back to the chain of command, about why, what happened with the suspect, that you called in and that you failed to record, and that, somehow seems to not have been issued any citation, or there's no charges. So maybe there once was a justification for doing this kind of, holding court out on the street in your car. But in this day and age of everything being recorded by the police generally, it's just a waste of everybody's time.
Me, man, I just want to travel in peace.
I'm not going to rip you. I'm not going to pull you out anything. Let me go down so I can talk to you.
Dude, I can hear you. I feel comfortable where it's at. No disrespect. I just feel safer with it up like this, because y'all can start grabbing in here and yanking me out. I know how it goes.
Okay, well, let me ask you something.
I just want to talk to you man to man, just on the facts, and tell me where I'm wrong.
Let me ask you a couple questions first.
Sure.
Do you have any firearms in the vehicle?
What does that matter?
I'm asking, do you have any firearms in the
I mean, I'd rather not answer any of those questions. I just want to talk about this.
Okay.
This right here. If he's saying the Texas code, which is right here, which is what y'all got. Do you have a copy of your book here?
On my penal code book? No, I
You
don't.
don't have a traffic code book on you?
Not on me, but I am familiar with it.
Okay. What is the name of the book that y'all go by? The Texas, what's it called?
Texas penal code.
No, traffic.
Criminal procedure.
This one's on traffic. Right here. Texas Transportation Code.
Okay.
Here's 502-003, registration by political subdivision prohibited. So what this is basically saying is that a person who is not employed for commerce, like say if I was a bus driver or a taxi or doing Uber or something where I'm making my money on the road,
Okay.
they say if you're doing that, you're considered a driver. And that's the driver. If you look at Black Law Dictionary, what a driver is right here, legal definition, it says one employed.
Okay, listen here. Listen. If you want to crack it like this, that's fine. And speak with him, though.
He doesn't want to. Dude, tell him. I tried to tell you. You don't want to hear anything I got to say. You're like, get out of the car. You're like, get out of the car. That's what I'm
Do
saying.
you have a driver's license?
I'm not driving. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not driving, and this is not a motor vehicle. And I know that your face, you're looking at me like I just said, Bigfoot's here. Hear me out, though. This is what I'm trying to say. These words have legal meaning in court. I know there's a colloquial understanding of us saying like, hey, man, why are you fishing on me, man? Come on, listen, just talk. Just let me talk to you. I know, but you over there fishing. Come on, just talk to me, man.
No, I'm just looking.
Look, it says a driver. This is Black Law's Dictionary. This is what they use in court.
Okay.
The definition of driver, legal definition and legal meaning means one employee.
Yeah, they really don't use Black's Law Dictionary in court. A definition of a word with any legal effect is going to be defined generally in the statute or in the case law that the court uses to determine whether an offense has been committed. Very occasionally, one might argue that some definition, is not in any of those kinds of documents, and maybe might pull in definitions from other sources like dictionaries. But this idea that a law about drivers is going to be dependent on Black's Law Dictionary to determine its meaning is is pretty crazy. I did want to look for a second, guys. I hope you're not all bored by this legal stuff, but I mean, you know, this is the law that we're talking about here. Oops. All right, I didn't want that, but let me just zoom in here for y'all. Yeah, here we go. So this is what he cites, Texas Transportation Code 50203, I think he said, which is registration by political subdivision prohibited. What that has to do with his situation is between him and his YouTube lawyer, I think, because this doesn't make any sense at all. What this law is saying is that basically, you know, cities can't require registration of vehicles unless it's one of the this is where he gets the compensation thing. Boy, this guy is very confused. So what this law says is that generally speaking, cities cannot require licensure of vehicles. Why? Because that's states that are responsible for that. If you can imagine every city having, you know, a requirement that you register your car in order to operate in that city, it would be madness. So cities are not allowed to do that. However, there are exceptions, like the one here in 50203B1, which says that the municipality can require licensure if the motor vehicles is used for compensation. So what is that talking about? That's talking about cabs. And it's talking about, I guess, theoretically Uber, but I think they're generally exceptions for like Uber because it's like a private party's vehicle. So anyways, that's what this law is talking about. He seems to think this law says that if you're driving a vehicle not for commercial purposes or compensation, then you don't have to have a driver's license. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm at a loss for words, but I showed you previously the law which says that in order to operate a vehicle on the roadways of Texas, you've got to have a driver's license. And this gentleman does not appear to want to accept that.
Employed. Let's just take it right there. Employed. What does employed mean? We look up employed. Same dictionary. What does that mean? It means
All right,
one.
I'm gonna skip
You wouldn't even listen to me.
I'm gonna skip ahead here, guys. He's talking
I
with
got animals I got to take care of. No one's there. I live by myself.
All right, this I can respect. I would not want to have, you know, like my cat or dog. Rest in peace, Princess. My cat who died in 2020. You know, at home starving, being neglected because I'm about to go to jail for 2 days because I think that Black's Law Dictionary has some sort of meaning that allows me to not have a driver's license on the roadway. So I have a little bit of sympathy for him on that, but nothing else.
Man, victim here. Where's the victim? Don't do what?
Where's the victim? That's another thing I hear a lot in these videos. People say, like, nobody got hurt. Who did I hurt? You know, like I was watching a video earlier today of this woman who was evading the cops, and like several times she stopped and then took off, and you know, like went like 60 miles an hour down like a 25-mile-an-hour zone in a residential part of Florida, and finally she gets like pulled over and yanked out of her car by the police, and she's just like, I mean, she was inebriated, so like nothing she was saying really made any sense, but she's just like over and over again, like who did I hurt? No one is hurt. Okay. Also, a bad argument that if I didn't actually hurt someone physically, then what I'm doing is perfectly lawful. That's not gonna fly.
Why would I do that? Right? How do I know y'all really cops?
Oh, here we go.
Anybody can get a car, right? Anybody can get lights. But that's just how you doing me, man. You literally doing me like that.
You want to go home or you want to go to jail?
Man, I want to go home with my car.
You're speaking with
But I can choose.
Here we go.
Why would I want to do that? Let me know if you're going to bust it. You going to bust it?
Last.
Don't bust it. No. All right, cool. All right, cool. I'm stopping the video. I just recording this. Let me call my brother. Let me know I'm going to jail. I'm not moving. I'm not moving.
Yeah, I can see it.
I'm right here.
Don't move, okay? He's going to unbutton.
I'm right here. Look, hands are up.
Do not move.
I'm not moving. Okay. I'm going to unplug my phone.
Go ahead.
Here.
Lay your phone down.
Well, can I call my brother and let him know you take me in jail?
Lay your phone down. Hey, don't resist.
There you have it, folks. Laz. And the the law degree that was not to be. All leading to a broken window in your vehicle, impounding of your car, probably about 3 or 4 different charges, and almost certainly a trip to jail for, let's see, the traffic infraction that started the whole thing, failure to identify, I would say resisting arrest by the locking in the car, and maybe an obstruction charge to ice the cake there. Is probably what I'd expect for Laz. So, there you have it. There's our experiment in ASMR Police videos. I hope you guys enjoyed, learned a little something, and maybe got a little bit relaxed in the process. We'll catch you all next time. You have a great one. Bye now.